Hello, my stamping friends. It's Christine Ludwig from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Albert, Alberta, and welcome to my Mystery Monday video today for Monday, January the 19th. Oh my goodness, we're over halfway in the month. Do you believe it? We've had a pretty nice January here, but it is going to start getting a little bit colder this week, so back to normal temperatures for us. So let's bring a little bit of florals into our lives today. We're going to use this Fragrant Layers bundle. I found a really fun project from Rachel Tessman of Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel. She is amazing. Beautiful work. So definitely check her out. And I'll see if I can kind of get something close to what she prepared. So we are using the stamp set, quite a few images from here, and we're going to be using this die from the dies. Okay, so I'll show you what we are going to make. And it is a trifold card. Okay, so it starts like this, and then you open it and you open it. Okay. So really cute idea. Just a little bit of finagling with our little die here. See how we've cut that out? I think that is just so beautiful. So I am using some designer paper that is in our large catalog called Florals in Bloom. It's in our large annual catalog, so I thought, you know what, let's pull that out and use it. And I'm also using some of the in colors that will be retiring this coming catalog. So the Summer Splash, the Peach Pie, the Shy Shamrock, what were the other ones in there? Petunia Pop, and the Pretty in Pink. So Pretty in Pink, oh, one of my favorite pinks that we used to have in our annual catalog. And then when they did the refresh a while back, they took that one out. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue to use it even when it's gone. Okay, so let's show you how, and I will attempt to make this card like Rachel did. So you're going to bring out your paper trimmer, and we're going to start with a piece. Now, to do this particular trifold card, and I'm imagining with any trifold card, because it is so wide, you're going to need a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Okay, so I'm using the White Willow, which is one of the colors that I believe, now you can, I'm not going to swear by this, so you know, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was one of the whites that came over with the Close to My Heart gang that came over and joined us. We have basic white, but there's this White Willow. And so I don't have the old one to compare, but I think this one might be like a little more vibrant on the white side, okay, like maybe a little more bleached, if you will, but it's a beautiful white. Okay, so we are going to start with cutting and then scoring. So we are going to cut a piece at 12 by 5.5. All right, so line that up. And then we're going to turn this around on the 12-inch side, and we're going to score at 4 inches. So move your cutting blade out of the way. So 4 inches and 8 inches. Okay. Now, when you fold on this score line here, I'm just going to show you. When you fold and burnish these score lines at 4 and 8, you're probably going to find that it buckles a little bit, okay? Because this edge isn't lying quite flat in there. So what I did, I'm going to start with trimming off maybe like 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so let's see, 1/16. That is really tiny, and I don't know if that's enough. So let me start with 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to trim off one end, okay? And hopefully, once I tuck that in, this will sit flatter, okay? So that's just a little way to make sure that your card base will sit flat. Okay, I'll probably have it going this way so it opens from left to right, or right to left, and then this way, okay? So that's how you would do that. And then we need another piece of the white cut at 6.5. 6.5 by 5. And this is the piece that we are going to stamp our image on, and we will be trimming this down, okay? So 6 by 5, and we will set that aside. And then I need 2 pieces of that designer paper, okay? So you have this on the back, and I thought, oh, let's pull out these sort of tulips in hopes of spring soon. And these are going to be cut at, we want 3 5/8 as our width. So 3 5/8. And then we are going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. So 3 5/8 by 5 1/4 for both. And I will post these measurements on the post, okay? So we have those. And then you also need a piece to mat behind our image, okay? So this was the Shy Shamrock, and I had an extra piece, and if you don't, you would cut it at 4 3/4. So 4 3/4 by 3 1/4, okay? And that is where we will mat our flower on. Okay, so we are going to need this paper trimmer in a minute. I'm just going to set it aside. So what I want to do now is cut out this image from the front panel of our card. And that uses, where did oh, my printer is going randomly here, if you can hear that. Where did I put my die? I know I had it handy. Maybe it's in the dies. Is it? No, I know it's not. Oh my goodness, I set it aside knowing that, oh, I'm going to need this in a minute. Oh, here it is, hiding. Okay, so you can decide which way you want this to go. It's a little bit different. Let me just show you the image here. So you can have it this way where you've got sort of more of this small cluster at the bottom and the little at the top, or you can flip it and have the, the cluster at the top and at the bottom. It makes absolutely no difference, okay? So I'm going to make sure that I have the correct flap, and it is the front. And what I'm going to do is center this on the front. I'm going to tape it down with a couple of Post-it notes so it doesn't shift. And I'm going to run it through the die cut machine. Now you'll notice our paper is very long. So all I'm going to do is once I tack this down, I'm just going to roll it till it gets just past the die, and then I'm going to roll it back. Okay, so this whole area doesn't go through. So I'll be right back and try to center this as best you can on the front. Okay. And I just eyeball it where I think center will be. It doesn't always come out proper, but we'll use a couple of extra Post-it notes. Hopefully that will hold it in place. So let's see if we can run this through. If not, I'll have to do it again. Okay. So let's see what we came up with. Okay, so this is how it went through. I just stuck these Post-it notes down here. I think I had it fairly centered. So when you lift this up, you're going to have all these little pieces come out. Okay, and that's going to give you this really, really pretty, almost stained glass effect, I think. So you could put this on the back of any sort of, put a backer of any sort of paper behind here. Or you could sponge something, or, use your blends to make your own background, right? Okay, so now when I were to fold it, did I use the wrong side? Oh my gosh, no, I didn't. It's like this. Oh, scared myself for a minute. I think that's okay. Okay. All right, so that's what it would look like once that die gets cut, okay? Like so. So now what I think I'll do is put on those designer paper panels. Or maybe I should do them after our image is done. Maybe that would be better. Okay, I think we'll do our stamping first. That might make more sense. Okay, so I have that designer paper, or sorry, my extra white piece. So what did I cut it? 6.5 by 5, right? 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 by 5. Okay, so I'm gonna have it facing this way. Now, what you want to do is stamp the outline image of your stamp. So this large flower here is what we're going to do. So I chose to stamp that in Summer Splash. And my outline stamp is here. Okay, so you can stamp it this way, or you could stamp it upside down, which is probably a better idea. Okay, now what you want to do is, this is what worked for me. So you want to make sure the angle that you're stamping here on this piece is the same or as close to the same as the angle here, okay, on that die. So I'm just going to re-moisten it. I'm going to just sort of eyeball, trying not to touch my paper, and then I'm just going to transfer it over and stamp in the center. Okay, so there you go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so lovely. Okay, so now what you want to do, we want to try to line up this image on top of our stamped image. So you're going to take your base, your overlay, and you're going to just line it up where you stamped, okay? So as close as you can. Now it's going to be a little bit crooked, probably, but we're going to trim a lot of that off. And hopefully this will work. This is how Rachel did it. So let's see, I've never done this before, so this is new to me as well as you guys maybe, or maybe you have done this. But I think just the fact we have to try to line this up makes it a little bit trickier, but it's so worth it, right? Okay, so now it's pretty well lined up, okay? So I'm going to take a pencil, and on that extra piece of white that we cut, I'm just going to draw some pencil lines around the edge of our card base, okay? So all the way down on the 3 sides, all right? Not the folded edge, just those. Okay, so it looks like this, so you can tell it wasn't stamped exactly straight. So now you're going to bring in your paper trimmer again. And if you have any pencil marks on here, which don't look like too many, you can just take an eraser and erase those off. Okay, so let's hope this part works. This is what makes me nervous. So you're going to line up the pencil mark in the track of your paper trimmer, okay? as best you can. Now, don't worry about the pencil marks if they're left, because we are still going to trim it down even further. Okay, so we're going to cut that end. And then this end, we're going to line that up in the track. My only fear is that sometimes this will still be a little bit angled, but we will play with it. It'll be okay. All right, so then that end and this end of the pencil mark. Okay, so now we have the end that we didn't put a pencil mark. However, this width should be about 4 inches. Okay, so I think this is a little bit off here. Well, maybe not too bad. Let me just see. Okay, well, we're going to line this up 4 inches here, and if we have to trim a little more on that one side here, I think we might just have to do that. We'll see. I'm going to trim a little bit more off that edge. Okay, so now we're going to line this up at 4 and trim this end off. Okay, so now it looks pretty even, I would say, but we're going to just take another check in this. Make sure your image is lined up correctly. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's pretty straight the way we cut it. So now what we want to do is cut another 1/2 inch around all sides. Okay, so another 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Let's start with this one maybe. Okay, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here. Okay, so this was a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to line up that bottom edge, and hopefully that will straighten it out. Not too bad. So that looks a little better, right? Okay. So now if we were to line this up again, oops, it looks pretty good, and it is a little bit crooked on the back though, isn't it? See, that's what I was afraid of. Well, maybe it was not quite right there. Okay, let's see what happens now after we stamp. So now we are going to stamp in our image. So for these large flowers, I'm going to use the peach pie because that is one of the colors in the designer paper. And for these longer sort of greenery pieces here, I'm going to use the Summer Splash again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just apply ink with a sponge dauber. So I'm going to take this peach pie first. Oh, sorry, not on my paper, on my stamp. Oh my goodness, guys, that was close. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up this large flower here. And this is where this 2-step stamping is what I call it. This is where I miss our the tool that we used to have to line things up, right? And for the life of me, my brain is just not working today, this morning, but our, what was it called? Stampin' something. Because that made for really, really great alignment of our stamps, especially if you were doing an image with a 2-step stamping, right? If you know what I'm talking about, please put the name of it in the comments. Okay. All right. So then we're going to take our Summer Splash and we're just going to try to put ink on these extras. sprigs here. Okay, let's just try to get, if you get a little bit on the flowers, it's not super the end of the world. Okay, so I'm just going to move these out of the way. I'm going to wing it and see how this goes. So make sure it's lined up with your image, and excuse my head. Just want to see how this goes here. I don't usually have a ton of luck, but try to line it up as best you can. Just be patient with it. And if it's not 100%, it's okay. I think it kind of adds a little bit to our image if it's a little bit off as well. Let's see. Okay, well, it's off a little, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, here it could have been a little better. You get the idea. Okay, so now I want to fill in this leaf. So I'm going to bring out the Shy Shamrock. And there are some leaf stamps. So we have one with 2 leaves, or 2 of them with 2 leaves and one with 3. So let's start with the 2. Same thing, I'm just going to line it up inside. Stamp, and then we'll do this one. Oh my gosh, I am just so off on this today. Okay, and our third one. Hey, that was pretty good. Not too bad. All right, and then I'm going to just put a little bit of Daffodil Delight in the centers. You could use something a little bit darker if you wanted. Let's just stick with the Daffodil Delight. Okay, so put that in there. And then that part is done. All right, so the other stamping we have to do is, before we put everything together, I'm going to put a greeting on the front and a greeting in here. And I wanted to stamp a few more flowers on this inside piece here too. Okay, so let me see. For my greeting, I'm just going to open it and lie it flat. In the stamp set, we have a couple of greetings here. So we have "So happy for you," "Hello, it's your day," and just a note. So I'm going to put on the outside, "It's your day," and then "So happy for you" on the inside. Okay, and I'm going to use that Shy Shamrock again. I had the label facing me in a different language. Oh my gosh. Okay. "It's your day." I'll stamp here. I'll just stamp it towards the bottom. Okay, nice bright color. And then on the inside, I will maybe clean this off. And then I will change it. Put the other stamp on this block. And we will use the same ink. Make sure it's not upside down. "So happy for you." I'll put this a little lower because I still want to stamp a couple of flowers here on the inside. Okay, so we have these flower images here too, these little ones. Okay, so the outline and the infill there. So let us do the outline in the Summer Splash. I'm just gonna put a sticky note underneath here in case I stamp off. So yeah, let's do one here and maybe another one there. Then I'll put 1 or 2 here at the bottom. Oh, it's on there. So let's put maybe another one here and maybe here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to fill those in with the Shy Shamrock. Now, to line this up, there is one of these petals, and it's a little tricky to tell, but one of them has kind of like 3 little bumps on it, which would kind of coordinate with this little image here. So let's see if we can find it. Okay. So let's put this here. It's this one. Let's see. Close. All right, and we'll do a second one there. And then we will do these at the top. Now, if you just wanted to leave them as an outline, that looks nice too. Okay, I could have done these just in the peach. That might have been the better color to choose, but that's okay. We'll have blue flowers. I've been doing a lot of blue flowers lately for some reason. I don't know why, but okay. So not perfect, but it's okay. All right, so now we're going to add that designer paper, finally. So we want to put one on the inside here. Okay. So let us grab our adhesive and make sure our tulips are going the right way. We will put one here. And then when this is closed, I would like some designer paper here on this side. So let us do that. The same pattern. Okay, we're going in the right direction. And so there you go. All right, now we need to put our image in here. So first off, I'm going to mat it on top of that Shy Shamrock layer. This paper is pretty, actually. I haven't used that pattern. I haven't used much of the peach, to be honest. Okay, so now what I want to do, this is going to go on this layer, right? But we want to line it up with our die cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, just to help me with the positioning, I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape just on the one side, because it'll be easy to just tear it off once it's in the right position, hopefully. And I hope it's not too crooked. It shouldn't be if you do it how Rachel does it. Okay, so again, I'm just going to turn this to the side. Make sure this is lined up the correct way. Okay, so let's bring that over because that's where it's going to go. And I just want to line up this image here. Okay, so just give it a little tweak to get it as close as possible with that die cut around the ink. Now, that looks not too bad. And we're going to just press it a little bit. Okay, so hey, it looks pretty centered on here. I have to say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I wasn't sure how that was going to go. Whew, okay. And that lines up pretty well too. A little bit off, but that's okay. So then, to get this side to stick down, oh, I already took off the tear and tape. I should have left the backer on. Just a heads up. And then once you know that it's positioned properly, you can just tear off that back and press it down. I was a little ahead of the game there. Okay, so now all we need to do is add some bling. So I'm going to take out some of our jewels. So let's put a large rhinestone, some of these open spaces. Okay, and maybe we'll put one here and a middle size one here. Okay, so when you see the card like this, it's like, oh, you can just see those. Those are so pretty. And when you open them, they actually end up on your inside layer, which is also lovely, right? And then you can add, if you wanted, you could add some in the center of your flowers. And I'm going to add a couple just here on the outside. So let's see, I'm going to put a medium one and a small one here. And then maybe just a medium one up here. Or maybe, or should we just leave the two? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just leave the two for now and decide later. And there you go. Your trifold card opens, and you can write your greeting in there. So I did do one out of a different color, like my very first attempt. And I did it with the Gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather and the Garden Green. So same thing, it's your day. And this is how it turned out. So again, I was a little bit off, but that's okay. And here, oh, I did have a gem in the middle. That must have come off. And then I used this designer paper here, which is, I think, a retired pattern, maybe not. And then I used an old stamp set as a happy birthday. And what I might do for this one, I might put a little pouch in here. So you could even put a gift card if you wanted to, right? Maybe out of the Blackberry Bliss or even one of the greens or something. Just put a teeny pouch that you can slide in a gift card. That would be a pretty card to give somebody, right? And there you go. So there are our trifold cards for today. Thank you for sticking with me and being patient. Yeah, that stamping can be a little bit tricky, but it's such a really neat technique and a really great effect when it's all done. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that project, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week. Bye for now.